George, are you there? Hey, George. Okay, I'm gonna just assume. Okay. All right, well, I want to welcome everybody to this scripting webinar. Every month I do a free webinar where I try to cover some really important information that has to do with sales. And today we're going to be talking about scripting. Scripting is such a very powerful, important tool that you can put in your toolbox, something that's going to give you mastery, something that's going to make you more consistent in your results when it comes to sales. And who wouldn't like to be able to know that you can close more sales more frequently? We all would. And scripting happens to be one of my favorite topics to talk about because scripting has actually changed the way I do business. Now, if you want to learn more about me, I encourage you to go to AnnaScheller.com, Anna, A-N-N-A, Scheller.com. There you can learn more about me. And also, at the end, I'm going to offer for you, if you want help with specific scripts, I'm going to offer for you to book a consultation with me, a free consult. We'll go over some scripts that are really important for your business and how you can start to make more money by knowing what to say it, how to phrase your information for your customers so that they want to buy from you. You actually will become an order taker and not a salesperson. Wouldn't that be amazing? I think so too. So I want you on this webinar to set an expectation that you're going to learn something today that's going to change the way you do business. And this could be for the rest of your life. It is so powerful to learn how to say things because there are so many people who won't even pick up a phone because they don't know what to say. So just having a script is going to give you courage to pick up the phone or go to a networking meeting, talk to clients, and not be afraid of making a mistake. It's that powerful. So today we're going to be talking about the purpose of scripts. We're going to be talking about an important mindset so that scripts work for you and not against you. We're going to talk about some of the kinds of scripts that you're going to want to make for yourself. We're going to talk about how to create a script. That's really important. And we're also going to have to talk about what everybody hates to do but is really important, and that's phone calling. What kind of scripts can you use on a phone call? How about when you have to leave a voicemail? And what about when you're sending email? We're going to cover all of that today. That's how important and powerful this scripting class is for you. Now, at the end, I am going to invite you to join me and sign up for a free consult if you already haven't. It's absolutely free. And I'll tell you more about that when we come to the end of the webinar. All right, so let's talk about the purpose of scripts. I will tell you, normally I do have slides, but in this case, my scripts are working for me, and I have been so busy, I haven't been able to get to making the slides. So there will be a handout with this that you will receive when you sign up for the webinar. And also, this is going to become part of the membership website that I now have. All right, so what is the purpose of a script? Well, the purpose of a script is so that you know in advance what you're going to say. And not only do you know what you're going to say, but you will have tried out some various ways of approaching people, and you're going to know what is going to get you the best results. My mentor, Eric Lofholm, taught us that scripts work because people respond in predictable ways. So there's a saying that if you approach somebody, if you approach somebody with a gentle, well, it's called a gentle answer turns away wrath. What happens when somebody comes at you and they're upset? Well, immediately it's natural, it's normal for us to respond in like kind. But if you find the right way to approach people and you use terminology that helps them to be more receptive to what you have to say, to turn an objection into an asset, to lead them into a close, then you will have overcome a lot of sales resistance that people have. Scripts help you know what to say when you're in front of a prospect. They also are pre-thought out, so you know the direction that you're going to be taking your prospect when it comes to your sale or your service or product. Now, knowing what to say, as I said earlier, is powerful, but it also gives you confidence. Confidence when you're standing in front of someone. You know, there's nothing more discouraging than to be with someone who's searching for something to say, like they don't really know what they're doing. Not only is it a downer for the customer, but it's a downer for the person. And if we don't feel confident, we're less likely to close sales. And here's another thing that scripts can do for you, which is extremely powerful. Let's say you've had a day that you have not been able to close a single sale. And they happen. Or maybe you had a day where you were busy doing on something else, which I hope if you're not on this webinar, you are not so busy doing other things that you are not making time for sales and marketing. But you need to. But anyway, with a script, if you know what you're going to say, and you realize that it's nothing personal no matter how they respond to you, then at the end of the day, you can pick up the phone and you can make one more phone call. Why? Because you don't have to think about what you're going to do. You already have it planned out. Now, if you own a small business, the beauty of scripts is that it creates consistency across the board to everyone. So let's say that you're the business owner. You have somebody working at the front desk. Well, you know that every customer is going to hear the same thing every time from your receptionist. Why? Because they're following a script. And we're going to talk about some of the mindsets with scripts. So don't get turned off thinking, well, it's going to become rote and mechanical. It can be that way, but that's not what this webinar is about. We want scripts to become natural, like an actor in a movie. A good actor in a movie makes a script disappear. And that's what we're after today. But having scripts for your business creates consistency. Every customer is going to get the same experience when they call you. Every person in the staff is going to know how to speak and how to talk to people. And you're all going to be talking in the same way, which is going to reinforce, it's going to make your brand stronger because everybody knows what to expect. And you can get past acting into being really present with your customer when you have a script. Another powerful thing about scripts is it helps you to know how to answer objections. I have to tell you, when I first got started, my biggest challenge was answering objections. I was afraid of them. I didn't know what to say. I'd been taught that you never backtalk people, so when people had objections, I just figured that they didn't want to talk, and I didn't want to offend them, so I didn't pursue. But there are ways that you can learn, and when you write them out, these ways can help you move the conversation forward. Yes, you can move the conversation forward without being combative or argumentative. That's the power of scripting. Now let's take a look at the mindset that goes with scripting. You know, a lot of people think, well, I just don't want to be rote. I don't want to be mechanical. And of course, we don't want to sound like the person who calls us up and says, hello, my name is Joe. Is Anna there? And I hesitate, but just for fun, I'll say, yes. Hi, this is Joe with XYZ Company. And he goes into his script and he doesn't even stop to take a breath. That's the negative side of scripting. That's the part of scripting that gives scripting a bad name. And we develop an aversion to it because, one, the person on the other end isn't listening, are they? Two, we don't want to be a number. We just don't want to be a number to somebody else. And 3, we kind of feel like they're shoving stuff down our throat. So the real thing about the real mindset I want you to develop when it comes to scripts is that scripts provide consistent ways to get consistent results from your clients. You work with scripts to help them disappear. Truly, if you're using scripting correctly, what happens is the script disappears. You become more present with your customer. You can actually listen to their concerns, what's concerning them, what's not, what their true deep desire is. And you know, when you know your script well, what happens is the information, the questions, the comments that you need to keep the conversation moving forward or to close the deal suddenly come out of you. You'd be surprised how they become automatic, and they're part of you. Again, looking at an actress, a good actor makes the script disappear, and that's what you'll be doing. So keep in mind that it's important to realize that scripts are the key to freedom. They're not rote, they're not mechanical, but rather they give you the power to be confident and to move forward with your client with ease, because you know the words, you know the phrasings, you know how to speak to your client to get them to agree and move forward. Now, I am not talking manipulation. This is all about helping the client get what they want, not about you making $1. If you serve enough people, you will make money. Trust me. So moving on, what kinds of scripts do you need? Well, there are a lot of different kinds of scripts. There could be networking scripts. So these are things that, phrases and conversation points that you would make sure that you have memorized when you go into a networking situation. There are appointment setting scripts. How do you get past the gatekeeper? How do you get past the gatekeeper? Well, a good appointment setting script, and you may need more than one, so don't be discouraged if you need more than one script. You may need more than one script, and that's okay because different scripts serve different purposes. But the appointment setting script is going to help you to stay focused on the purpose of your script, on the purpose of the activity, and it's going to help you get more appointments. There's the identify needs script. This is going to be a series of questions that you're going to ask your customer to find out what their true need is, and also where you may have to educate your customer. There's sharing the benefits scripts. These are the scripts that help you to share the features of your product or service with your customer in a way that they start to enjoy the benefits before you even ask them to close the deal. Then there's closing scripts, and we're going to talk about closing scripts because I want to help you think about how do you move somebody using a script. See, these are all things you memorize, but how do you move someone using a script to making a decision? There are follow-up scripts. I don't think I need to say more about that. My last webinar was all about follow-up, but knowing what to say and following up in such a way that you're providing value, these are important, very, very important scripts to have in your repertoire. Then there's objection answering scripts. These are the scripts that help you move past an objection, help you understand your customer, and help you bring them back to making a decision to move forward. The last kind of script that you want to have is you want to have stories. You want to have stories for all areas in your sales process that you can use, like to share the benefits or to answer objections. These are all important areas. And in the future, I'm going to be doing a storytelling webinar. So you want to stay tuned for that. It's really important because people respond powerfully to stories. Now, how do you create a script? That's a really good question. And probably while you're even on this webinar, you're thinking, oh my gosh, Anna, the purpose of the script, the mindset, the kinds of scripts. Okay, let's get to the meat and potatoes of the webinar. All right, that's what we're going to do. How do you create a script? Well, the first thing you want to do is you want to have the purpose of the activity in mind. Keep in mind, a script does not have to be very long. So let's say that you want to write an appointment setting script. Sound good? Great. So in an appointment setting script, the purpose is to set an appointment. See, so many times we try to do too much too quickly. And instead of focusing on what it's going to take to get the appointment, we wing it. We automatically go into talking to people about what we can do for them, what our product or service is. No can do. The problem with that is that you push people away. As a matter of fact, I had a situation today where I was prepared. I knew what I was going to say to these customers. And when they finished looking at one of my properties, they said, well, we don't think this is for us. So at that point, I had a couple of decisions. I had been in conversation with these people for several days. They finally come to look at the property to see if they wanted to stay with us. And they made a decision that they didn't. They felt, for whatever reason, unsafe. So I had a choice. I had a real choice at that point. And I said, well, is there anything else I can help you with? I certainly understand your concern here. What other concerns do you have? So they didn't really mention it to me at the time. I didn't do my homework well enough. But what I did is I said, well, thank you so much. And if there's anything I can do for you, give me a call. So they left. I sent a follow-up text, which was very carefully worded. It was a script. I sent a follow-up text to them with the intention, my intention was to let them know I wasn't upset that they left, and my other intention was to get a referral. Within minutes, they called me back and they ended up booking the apartment. Now, why do you think that happened? Well, one, I believe that because I was careful in what I shared with them, they didn't feel like they were being pushed into making some kind of decision. I wasn't trying to sell them on the apartment. I was really trying to do something that would help them make a decision. And so getting back to appointment setting scripts, when you are, the purpose of an appointment, of setting an appointment, is just to set the appointment. It's not to sell your product or service. It's not to tell them how good you are. It's simply to get the appointment. And so you want to provide value when you're speaking to someone, and you want to show respect. You want to show respect. I have a high regard for a gentleman by the name of Mark Hunter. Mark recently published a book called High Profit Prospecting. And I'm going to be doing a webinar on prospecting because it's just that important. And so many people are afraid to prospect. But the whole thing with Mark is he's really big on when you're talking to people to have to be giving value when you're wanting to set an appointment. It could be something like, you know, something that's important to the customer, then you have an article or you find an article that would be beneficial to the customer. So you let them know maybe how you saved a company similar to theirs some money. And here's an article that they could use to save money on their next project. So again, it's a script because you're thinking in advance of what you're going to say and how you're going to lead the customer to setting an appointment. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Now, in identifying needs, you want to ask questions that will help you uncover the true needs that the customer has. So think about what kind of questions you can ask that will direct the client to a buying decision. What kinds of questions can you ask that will direct your customer to a buying decision? I listened to Tom Hopkins recently, and I thought this was a very fascinating way to help lead people in a decision. So what he did, he does these at his sales presentation seminar. So I'm not Tom Hopkins. I'm not pretending to be Tom Hopkins, but I thought it was very helpful, and I want to share it with you. So he has a deck of cards, and he has someone in the audience pick one card off the deck and show it to him. And he shows it to the person in the audience, and then he puts it back. Then he calls another volunteer up to help him with his card trick. So what he says is, he says, well, you know, I'm going to be able to tell you what cards you have. But I need to ask you a series of questions first. So the person, of course, says, yes. And so he'll say, so there are two colors in a 52 deck of cards. There's red and black. Which color do you like? So let's say that the card was a 7 of diamonds. So the person says, I like black. He goes, that's great. That leaves us with red. Now, of red, we have face cards and we have number cards. Which one do you like? And the person says, well, I like number cards. Great, that's right. We have number cards. Now, in the number cards, we have low numbers, 1 through 5, and then we have 6 through 10, or ace through 5 and 6 through 10. So are you thinking of high cards or low cards? I'm thinking high cards. That's right. You're thinking high cards. Now, in the high cards, we have odds and evens. What do you like? Oh, I like evens. Well, that leaves us with odds. In the odds, we have 7 and 9. Which one? I select 9. And that leaves us with 7. It was a 7 of hearts. And, oh, I forgot the question about the hearts. But did you see how through the series of questions, he was able to lead the customer to making a specific decision, a specific choice? So after listening to that, I thought, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write out what kinds of questions I can have that will lead the customer into a buying decision once I've qualified them. They have to qualify them. We're not trying to get people to buy something they don't want or need. But after you've qualified them, you want to have a series of questions that will guide them in the direction that you want to. This requires forethought. This requires scripting. And this is something I'm doing in my own business, and I'm telling you the power of listening to that on the radio was amazing. But the thing is Tom's not the only person that can do it. You can do it too, with a little practice, a little time, and a little help. Now, I have clients who have asked me to help them with scripting, and one young lady is now presenting to a very large group of people her product, and she's doing quite well. And she is so excited because this could end up being a $10,000 deal for her. It is amazing. That's how powerful scripting is for you. And she and I have been working on her scripting for some time. Now, when it comes to closing, you want to have a specific way that you lead people when it's closing. You want to transition, so you want to think about how you transition things, write out things like, now this is how we move forward. Or, in order for us to move forward. Those are some of my favorites. You can probably look some other things up on the internet. But mine are, okay, in light of what we've discussed, this is how we can help you enjoy the benefits that you're looking for. And you list those benefits. Always tell the customer what they want and how you're going to help them get that. Then there is the body of the close, which is actually where you tell them again how you're going to help them enjoy the benefits of your product or service. This can be a little tricky because what we tend to do is we tend to jump back into our features. This is where scripting can be important because it's going to help you rethink how you're talking to people. Today, I had the opportunity to work with yesterday, I sent an email to someone who'd expressed interest in my apartments. And I found myself saying, in order for us to do this for you, we have to do X, Y, and Z. I need you to do this. And I realized, whoa, wait a minute. This is all about me. This is not about the customer. So the way I worded the email is, in order for us to be able to take this challenge from you, we need to move forward in this direction. So I kept it, instead of saying, I need X number of dollars in order to get started, what I said is, in order to take away the problem you have, we need to do this. We need to have this much cash on hand. So you see how there's a subtle difference? Again, it's because I'm used to thinking and scripting. And then finally, there's the ask. There's how do you ask for the order? And there are so many ways. I personally love the closes. There's a book called The Closers 1, Closers 2 by Ben Gay III. And I encourage you to get your hands on a copy of them because they have a lot of different closes in them, and you can try them out and experiment with them. But you want to have them written out in advance. And here's why. Because then you're familiar with what you're going to say. Trust me, if you wing it, you get wing it results. And if you're not doing very well or you want something different, then that means you've got to stop winging it, right? Now, when it comes to objections, so we're still talking about how to create a script, you want to think of how you can agree with the person, number one, then how you respond to them in order to get them to give you more information of what's holding them back, and then taking them back to the close. So for an objection handling script, the first part is agreement. I can see where you're coming from when it comes to that. That's a really valid point. But let me ask you, now we come to the questions, but let me ask you, besides that, is there anything else holding you back from making a decision today? And then after they tell you, you can agree with the objection, or you can say, well, we can handle that in this way, and then get them back to the benefit that they're interested in, and then ask for the order again. So that is a really quick outline of an objection handling script. Agree with them, ask a question, reiterate the benefits they're looking for, and then go back and ask for the order again. Now, knowing in advance what to say and role-playing with your manager, coworker, or a friend will help you to have confidence. Keep in mind that a lot of times we clam up when it comes to objections because we simply don't know what to say. We're not sure how to talk to the customer. Maybe you're afraid of no. I think we all are at one time or another, but we don't need to be. All we need to do is to be confident that our script is going to work. And I have to tell you, I have a client that she's just been amazed at how scripting has helped her rethink her approach to customers to where she has a much more natural approach, and she's been able to close more deals. This is the gal that's now talking in front of a large group with her product or service. So let's talk a little bit about, do I have to call? I hate calling. I'm not sure what it is about the phone that scares us, but there's something about the phone that scares us. Again, having a script, knowing what you're going to say is going to take, it's going to take the angst out of picking up the receiver. It truly is. See, one of the things that keeps us from calling is if we've gotten rejection, if people have said no, then doubt creeps in our mind. And when doubt creeps in our mind, it really starts to eat away at our confidence and our willingness to try. And you see, that will eat away at your ability to prospect successfully or to be confident in front of your customer. And then the next thing you know, you're disappointed, you don't have energy, and you quit. We don't want that. Scripting can help you to stay on track. Scripting can help you to close more deals. I have to tell you that the scripts that I've been using to work with customers invariably get me a conversation, and that's usually what my initial conversations are for, is to just get into a conversation with the client. Now let's talk, I promised to talk about email, and I promised to talk about voicemail scripts. So we've talked a lot about appointment setting. This is when you're actually in a presentation. Let's call it a conversation so that there's no pressure for you to perform. You just have a conversation with your client. But again, I'm going to take you back to looking at this book, High Profit Prospecting. And in the book, High Profit Prospecting, if you can't reach someone or you have to leave an email, a voicemail, excuse me, you want to introduce yourself, have a call to action and a reason for the call. I was wanting to get in touch with you to discuss the possibility of helping you grow your business by cutting costs here and here, or whatever your business is. Usually the reason for the call is going to be something brief. I have some information that will help you cut costs on your next project. Again, you want to give them an invitation to contact you. You can call me at 830-719-2503. My name is Anna. Make sure that you mention your name twice and your phone number twice. It's also helpful to mention the name of the person that you intended to contact twice. So if it's Joe, you can say, "Hi, Joe. I'm Anna Scheller. I'm calling today because I saw that you guys are getting ready to do a project in Laredo. And I wanted to share with you some ways that you can cut costs when it comes to your lodging while you're doing the project in Laredo. Joe, call me back at 830-719-2503. Again, my name is Anna, 830-719-2503. According to Mark, you want to keep this down to no more than 18 seconds. It's tough, but if you write out a script, guess what? You can do it. Other good scripts are email scripts. So again, email scripts are stay away from saying things like just following up. You want to be memorable. You want to say something that's going to grab their attention, and you don't want to take too long to say it. Joe, I've been looking at your company's statistics, and I saw this article and I thought it would be great for you. There are also ways to, then you put the article in there. Looking forward to speaking with you. I'll be in touch in the next couple of days. Now they know to expect your call. Then you follow up with a phone call. Follow up your email with a phone call. You want to practice. So we've talked about voicemail scripts. We've talked about an email script. And again, if this is an area that you struggle with and you'd like more help with, listen at the end. We'll talk about how we can make that happen for you. Scripts are powerful, and they're great for building confidence. Bengay III, the man who I told you about that wrote the book, The Closers, he lives and breathes scripts. Matter of fact, when he's talking to his wife, he actually is so scripted that he uses scripts, and she doesn't even know it. Of course, my husband doesn't know that I use scripts with him either. But there was a time when Ben was talking to an executive, and when he was talking to this executive about this executive power package that he has, the guy on the other end said, well, I don't know, I'll have to think about it. And they got off the phone, and Ben shooed everybody out of his office and decided that he was going to figure out what he needed to say differently to get someone like this guy to move forward with a sale. He thought about what he had to say. He changed a word or two. This is how powerful this is. He changed a word or two, and the next thing you know, he called the person back, and he increased his closing ratio. Now, we're talking about Ben Gay the third, okay? So Ben Gay went from an 85% closing ratio to an 86 or 87% closing ratio. But let me ask you a question. If by some forethought and practice and rewriting what you're saying, if you could increase your closing ratio by, let's say, 5% or 10%, let's say you're able to close 1 out of 10. What if you could close 2 out of 10? And that would double your income. That's the kind of power that you're looking at when it comes to scripting. Keep in mind that scripts help you keep key points in mind when you're with the customer so that you can stay on target and you can lead the customer to making a buying decision. Trust that if you've been working with scripts, you've been preparing and you've been practicing, the right question or the right phrase will come to mind at the right time while you are focused on your customer. Isn't that powerful? So, so powerful. So, as we're closing here, let's do a brief recap. The purpose of scripts. Scripts prepare you for conversation. They help you bring consistency, and they help you close more sales by using language patterns that get people to move in a specific direction because people respond in predictable ways. We want to have the mindset that a script will free us to be genuine, to be caring, and to be present with our customer, and to know what to say and when to say it. There are a number of different kinds of scripts you need. And what you need to do is sit down, take a look at the different parts of the process and see which scripts are the most important to you right now. Is it an email script? Is it a voicemail script? Is it an appointment setting script? Is it an objection answering script? Think about what's most important, and then you get started on one thing. How to create a script? You start by thinking about the purpose of the script. You think about what you want that script to accomplish. And then what you want to do is you want to experiment with different scripts. This script I used 10 times and I got 3 appointments. This script I used 10 times and I didn't get any appointments. So then you can look to see what's more effective. And don't overlook the fact that you can get sample scripts on the internet and from other people in your industry who are very successful at what they do. What do they call it? Mimicking is the highest form of flattery. You go to somebody in your industry and say, oh, I would love to shadow you, and you write down what they say and what they do to close sales. You will gain a mentor, a friend, and you'll gain confidence. We talked about practicing your scripts. We talked about voicemail scripts and important email scripts. Email scripts, you don't want to sound like everybody else. But you want to be confident and you want to provide value to your customer. Now, at this point, you may be saying, wow, that sounds like a lot of stuff to do, Anna. I really don't even know where to start. Well, that's where I'm here to help. What I'd like to encourage you to do is I want to encourage you to go to annascheller.com, and in the corner, you can see where it says book a consultation. That will show you availability on my calendar. We just need 30 minutes to look at your process, to see what scripts are going to help you grow your business the fastest. And then we'll talk about how to move forward and how we can make these scripts become real, a reality in your business. Not only that, but if you sign up, then you will get 2 months free in my membership website. 2 months free in my membership website. And you will walk away from the consult with at least one script. At least one script that you can use right away. So go to annascheller.com, click the button that says book a consult, and I can't wait to see you and meet you at the other end. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, and let's do great things together.